going on? So I'm going to go right into week 11 of the NFL, thoughts and takes. So obviously, you know about Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Them last 8 seconds had more game going on than the actual game itself. Mason Randolph was horrible. And he started the fight, not letting Myles Garrett off or nothing, but he did instigate that mess. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Cleveland is trying to get on a little bit of a run. Underachieving, wrong head coach, and a hot headed arrogant quarterback who just doesn't quite get everything yet. The nuances. They should be a wild card contending team, somewhere between the 9-7 mark, 8-8. But there's just too much of a mess in Cleveland. But that Pittsburgh mess was pathetic. But anyway, that mess, I had not seen anything quite like that on a game. So it was crazy. The game itself was lackluster. But Mason Rudolph was horrible. And that's what's gotten lost by them 4 picks long season. My Bills beat Miami, but that don't even count. Josh Allen did good enough to win that game. But again, Miami's been on vacation since Labor Day weekend. They've been in Cancun before the season even really started. So that, win, whatever. Same thing with the Jets in Washington. Jets spanked Washington, but, really now. That's just like padding stuff to pad it. Last night, Kansas City beat the Chargers. And Philip Crimea Rivers, who has done his best, broke Brett Favre impersonation of throwing to be a slinger, blew the game. The Chargers are the most. If I was a Chargers fan, you'd pull every hair on your body out because they're such an insane team. On one hand, they can beat like a great team. The next time they get beat by a bad team. But it's just the turnovers and the way they lose. They've lost all 7 of their games have been within a possession to win the game. Can you imagine you win half of that, where your record would be, where you would be? Dallas beat Detroit, and Dak Prescott looked really good. Ezekiel Elliott was stumbling, but Dallas' defense isn't that really good. And who is Driscoll for Detroit? The only Driscoll I ever know associated with Dallas was Walt Driscoll against J.R. Ewing. I mean, come on now, Dallas' defense. I don't know. The hype game, New England, Philly. New England, there was drops. Before people ripping Tom Brady, Julian Edelman made a couple drops. And Philly started off kind of fast. They don't have, without D-Jack, but they really don't have a wide receiver to complement Carson Wentz. But Carson Wentz was frustrated. He looked confused. They're missing Nick Foles, Darren Sproles, and other situations, and they're just not quite that good. Baltimore-Houston was the hype game. Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson are my top 2 for MVP. Coin flip either way. I ain't got no problem either way. I like D. Watt, but Houston, they've been rehearsed him out really well. I had not seen a team put that on him. And that was a blowout before it started. Frisco, Arizona, Jimmy G did enough to get over. Kyle Murray's coming. He's nice. He's coming. Keep your eye on it. New Orleans beat Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston is just... This is another example why Colin Kaepernick should be able to start, because I'm like, what is Jameis Winston doing? New Orleans won the game, but Jameis Winston gave most of the game away, so it's not like no biggie. When you look at it, it's like, it's kind of there. Oakland beat Cincinnati. Oakland's been playing really consistent ball. David Carr is staying away from a lot of turnovers. They're winning games they're supposed to. Not pretty, but winning those games. And they're going to make a little run. Indy beat Jacksonville with Brisket back. The Colts are a team. I think they're a little bit on the radar because of a couple of missteps. But don't sleep on the Colts. I'm still thinking the Colts are one of them sleeping kind of teams that they could be potentially a threat with something. They're not totally out of the whole situation. Of course, Cincinnati's still stinking because you kept Marvin Lewis. Really. They're really pathetic, and there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of bad teams in the NFL, and they're one of them. Atlanta is being the best spoilers at the end. They spanked Carolina in Carolina. It's like they spanked New Orleans and New Orleans. I'm like, man, didn't y'all get the memo? The season started in September, not November. Even beating New Orleans and Carolina, very impressive. The last 2 backs for Atlanta. A little too late, but they could be a spoiler team. You really don't want to have to face them if you don't have to. They could be really dangerous. Really dangerous at the last start of everything. So I was just trying to think of everybody that I covered. Minnesota came back against Denver. Shouldn't have been that kind of game, especially at home, but they came back and won that game. Minnesota's one of those teams. I still think a high second tier kind of team. We'll see how it all plays out. Denver is just like the Chargers. Wrong quarterback and a boulevard of heartbreak. Not being able to, finish up what they got. So anyway, that's my week 11 thoughts and takes. Much of the same has been the same for what I've seen. The Rams beat the Bears. I really don't want to talk about whack Mitchell Trubisky because he stinks. The Rams gave the ball to Ty Gurley. Oh, Rick, he can run. Give him the rock. Stop tripping. Stop portraying. Stop fronting. Let him be the one to get you where you're supposed to go. That's what, if you had a chance, that's it right there. All right. That's my thoughts and takes. Feel free to give me your thoughts and takes about Week 11 NFL. Hit the like and subscribe and the bell rings in the video. You have a good day. Peace.